All right, welcome to our first live stream. so,
Woohoo!
yeah, so never done this before, but should be pretty good. Um, whether there's a lot of people that show up or not, it's fine. We'll always find something to talk about. And let me just start off uh, and we'll post this as an episode as well. So if people were like, "Oh, I wanted to catch that" or whatever, um, and they didn't get to, we'll post it later anyway. So, um, um, first, I wanted to say, I really appreciate people who do watch the show or listen and engage. Um, One question I did have, we want people to feel free to just ask question on the comments and the YouTube comments. You can just pop a question in there. Um, and if you're feeling frisky and you want to just join the conversation, you can click the StreamYard link. CJ just posted it in the comments section of the YouTube comment section there, and it's right there. You can click that link, and you'll be in like the green room, like waiting to come in, and we'll see you on there, and we can bring you in. If you don't want your face shown, you can turn your camera off, or if you don't have a camera, it's fine. That would work, and it's fine. It's just conversation. Anything you want to talk about? Questions, comments, something that happened to you out in the real world that maybe you connected with on an episode we might have had or something. I do have a couple rules if we can. We want to try to limit our foul language if possible, because I'd like this to be able to be available to as many people as possible, even children. So that would be helpful. And I guess people could be hateful. I'm not gonna like monitor the comments section. If you want to be a troll or something, then I guess you have the right to do that. But hopefully we have more higher minded folks that would care to join. So yeah, so that's kind of the little ground rules. And what do you think, CJ? Am I missing anything?
Nope, I think it's good.
Yeah, and also you see the scroll at the bottom of the screen there. You can always call or just text the Awake the Iron hotline, 601-654 iron. It's 4766, I think, of the numbers. If you're like, I don't know what the numbers are, so I don't feel like texting. 601-654 iron. Just you can send a text. I got my phone right here. I'll see it. Um, yeah, so that's the kind of the format that we'll go with. All right, we're populating right now. Looks like we've got a handful of people. Maybe they're a little shy. Um, but I do have some questions that have been asked of me, not right here in the moment, which we're hoping and wanting to do that. But I do have some questions that people have asked me in reference to the show or things that we talked about before, and they'll we'll throw those in there if we don't have any questions or anything. So, all right, CJ, anything else?
Yeah, sounds good. Go ahead with the question.
Okay, so I did have a question that came up. Said, um, why did you start this podcast? Why did you start this podcast? So, um, CJ and I and Karis, we're siblings, and we always have really good conversations. Or I think they're cool. They're interesting to me. Sometimes I just listen because I'm surrounded by smart people. And CJ says to me one day, he goes, "Our conversations are kind of like the podcast that I listen to." And I'm like, "Yeah, me too." Like, yeah, those are the ones I like. They're just kind of a conversation. They're maybe meaningful or deep or inquisitive. And he said we should just record our conversations and it'd be a podcast. And I was like, yeah, that'd be funny. And he was like, no, I'm serious. So I thought it would be cool too. On another note, I thought it would be cool to have almost like a digital archive of conversations. So you ever with somebody and you're like, oh, remember one time we were talking about this, and then you said something, and they're like, oh, I don't remember, and you're like, I know you said that. I just thought it'd be cool to have like a record of conversations. In addition to CJ's initial thought was, hey, our conversations, they sound like podcasts that I like to listen to, so let's just record them. And I tell you what, it has been awesome. It has been awesome. And in the beginning, so the question was, why'd you start the podcast? In the beginning, I felt like there was a lot of information that I was accumulating, and then I didn't know what to do with all this information. It's just like bottling up inside of me. And I felt like I was going to like explode, not literally, but I don't know. So it kind of was therapeutic to just get things out in the open. Just get it out in the open. Just talk about it. Maybe that's why people find therapy beneficial, right? So, and it was very therapeutic. I didn't know if anyone was listening or not, and I tried not to get too bogged down with that. Oh, well, what if nobody likes it? Oh well, and we still it felt good, and it was 2021 right at the beginning, so we'd already been through 1 year of what in 2020. And I tell you what, I think it kind of saved me in a way. Maybe not literally, but it kind of saved me mentally just to be able to talk about it, and talk about it in an arena, if you want to call, me and CJ an arena. If Karis was with us, or maybe we had a guest, to be able to talk about something and not get made fun of right off the bat. That was very meaningful to me. I'm not saying I have to talk to people who agree with me. It just so happens that CJ and I agree on many things. Maybe we don't agree on everything, but I can literally talk to him about anything, and he's not going to say, you're stupid, you're an idiot. So that was a big, I didn't realize I needed that, but the podcast did deliver that. Did you have something to add to that?
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying, just as far as being able to talk about stuff. Yeah, it just feels good to talk about it. By the way, just a couple people that said something. Tina K says, I'm here. This is Pat. So
wait, I'm confused.
I think there was another message with some details, but I deleted it because I don't know. But
okay.
He said, I'm using another account, something.
Okay.
Anyway.
No problem. Pat, Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here, Pat.
And then Carrie says, howdy, Carrie here. Actually, Carrie is one that I can talk to about all this stuff too. So thank you, Carrie, for being here. And if you have any questions about anything, maybe we should even just mention our episodes. Like we've talked about dinosaurs, banking, government, germs, virus, COVID. Oh, I don't know if we can say those words. We're on YouTube.
We get a yeah.
Flat Earth, Antarctica.
Mm-hmm.
Carrie said, I've considered doing something like this too. I never worried about getting made fun of. It's being censored that would totally set me on fire. Oh yeah, totally. And actually, this usually is not on YouTube.
That's correct.
We're on the podcast platforms and Odyssey, and then there is a YouTube channel. We've posted a couple little things, and this is on YouTube right now, but I don't even know if it'll stay. But we'll have it archived, and so
yeah. And to clarify that, leave that comment up there for a second. To clarify, right along these lines, I have this YouTube channel, and I don't post all of our episodes here because I know what would happen to some of them, right? And what might happen to the channel. So I tend to, I haven't even, there's some episodes I still think could be posted on this channel, and I will, but it's kind of the soft, right? The soft platform. YouTube's a huge platform. So I'd like to use it, but in order to maximize the use of it, I think unfortunately I have to be careful about what's there if I want it to, not be closed or whatever, which I really, really hate that. I hate um feeling like I have to, walk on eggshells. Oh, ooh, maybe we can't say that. I freaking hate that. But I'm going to use this to the best of my ability to kind of point people to our website, awaketheaaron.com, where everything is, or just the podcast itself, also where everything is in all of its glory. We'll say unmasked, right? So
Yeah, and that's interesting topic too. Is like the whole censorship. We can even get into that because I kind of see both sides. Like, okay, if YouTube or whatever is a private thing, and they can have what they want on there, and then they have rules, and so then you can't talk about certain things. So are you allowed to? Should you have free speech? Right. That's like a whole topic that or discussion / debate.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Let me pop one up here. So this is my buddy Patrick. Yeah. I understand now. I understand. Yeah, it's a good friend of mine from work. We used to work together, not the same. We didn't work at the same place as employees of the same place, but we ran across each other at the same place of work. And yeah, we used to get into all kinds of talks and just, dude, Patrick, huge respect to you, man. You're just a go-getter and just a great guy, good guy to talk to. It was nice talking to you about all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it was excellent. Thanks for stopping in, man. That's awesome. Also got a buddy of mine, Dave, said, nice choice avoiding YouTube. Yeah, avoiding it, but we are on it, but we're avoiding it, right? Yeah, Dave's part of our little Tuesday morning group. Tuesday mornings, I meet with, call it a group, so usually only about 3 of us. But Tuesday mornings, we meet over coffee and just, again, we're staying with this theme, just talk to people who are open-minded, willing to listen. And if I sat down and said, guys, I think there's lizard people, I don't think they would, well, maybe they would look at me funny at first. Jack would probably give me a hard time, but they would listen. And for the record, I don't think there are lizard people necessarily. That was one of my questions I have in the bank here. If we need.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, are you going to write me off just because I said that? You're going to let me explain myself, right? Well, maybe we'll get to it. But that's the whole point. The whole point is, can we just hear someone out, And all I can ever, what it makes me think of all the time is Ron Paul. Ron Paul would say things that sounded crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody would interview him and say, you want to abolish the Department of Education? And he would say, yes, just like he did, just very straightforward. And I want to hear his explanation because he's probably thought it through. He's painted as being, a fringe, crazy old man or whatever. But a lot of times they wouldn't let him explain. But the people that did let him explain, you'd hear his explanation. and you might say, well, I disagree, but gosh dang, that guy thought it through, man. And he's got reasons for his decisions. And so just let people say why they think what they do. And you don't have to agree. It's fine. But you don't have to treat them like crap, or make them feel stupid or something. I would never do that, ever. And
Right.
so,
And yeah, and don't assume that you know what they mean, right? So when he said, yes, I want to abolish the Department of Education.
yeah, what do you
Like,
do? What do
wait,
you hate kids? You
yeah,
hate kids.
you,
Ron Paul hates
you
kids.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. So, yeah. Patrick chimes in here. Ron Paul's also thought crazy to want to talk about Saudi Arabia after 9/11. Now it's okay to talk about their involvement. Yeah. That's a great point. It's like, what is it? It's a conspiracy theory or whatever. That's usually the blanket thing. That's usually the knee-jerk response when somebody is, to be honest, unwilling to look or is afraid to look. Right? It's conspiracy theory. But it's like, oh, hey, somebody, a whistleblower says, hey, I think this is going on based on what I found. No, it's not. Well, yeah, I think it's going on. Yeah, no, it's not. No, it's not. And until eventually, oh, well, yeah, it is. But and then fill in the blank with whatever. Well, it is, but it's for your own good. Or
Right.
oh yeah, that is going on, but it's it's blah blah blah, whatever. That's always what happens.
Yep, it is. Alex Jones used to have that kind of saying, first they call you a liar, then they admit that they're doing it, but it's for your own good, right? All that stuff comes out.
Right.
Atmospheric weather modifications, whatever. Oh no, we're not doing that. Oh well, yeah, we are, but it's to save the planet.
Right. And yeah, and then you're like, oh wait, but I was called this, I was called a conspiracy theorist for just bringing it up. At this point, conspiracy theorists are batting about 1,000 on just about everything. It usually just takes time. So those people who are painted as conspiracy theorists are actually just kind of at the cutting edge. That's what it seems like. Maybe not everything, but I'm just saying that's how it seems.
Yeah, and Witsit Gets It on YouTube, he about 6 months ago and even more recently, he's been saying, you know what, they're gonna either assassinate or try to assassinate Trump, probably like July or August. And then and then they did. So
yeah,
and he had his reasons as to why and what they thought that whole manipulation was going to be or whatever. But
right. And speaking of that, hey, by the way, I want to come right back to that. Wait, we got 8 people watching. I appreciate you being here. It's awesome. Hey, share the show. Just copy the link, send it to somebody. Say, hey, you guys see what these crazy guys are talking about, right? But I know anyone watching this, they would never say that because they're a higher-minded individual, right? They're not going to call people crazy just because. But yeah, share the show. See if we can bump that up.
Hit the like.
Hit the like. That'd be great.
So we won't continue until we get at least 4.
yeah. Smash that like button. It's always annoying to hear the people say it, but it just generates a little bit of buzz.
We're gonna sing "This is the song that doesn't end. It just goes on and on, my friend," and we'll keep singing that until we get likes. So go.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So real quick, I kind of was like, do we even want to talk about the whole Trump thing? But I don't know. I don't know what happened because I don't trust for 1 second what's presented to us. Now, maybe what's presented to us as the story of what occurred. Maybe it's true. It's fine. I'm not saying it's necessarily not. I don't accept it as fact right off the get-go ever. So the only thing I know is just looking at what's going on. There's two things for me. There's two things. One is, how did people react? I don't mean in the moment on TV. How do the people react? That's number one. Number two is, who benefits from number one? Who benefits from how people react? Those are where I tend to be led to look as to what occurred. I don't think you ever really know necessarily. Even if you were there, you don't know what the heck's going on. People are saying all kinds of things. Oh, there was a guy over here on a ladder, and there's a guy on the roof, and the Secret Service didn't do this, and blah. And it's poisoning the well. It's just, there's so much. All I know is I watch how people react. I'm talking about the public at large. How do people react? And then who benefits from how people react that way? And if you start to kind of think about it, you might be able to draw a few connections, but it doesn't necessarily mean you'll arrive at the absolute truth, I guess. That's all.
Yeah, well, and I do want to say this. Isn't the supposed shooter's name Crook?
Was it?
Yeah, it's a Crook or Crooks. And I was thinking this name might as well be like AK Gunman. Like, oh, he was shot by AK Gunman.
Right.
I mean, it's ridiculous. And then, the gunman always dies. They always get him before like they can interrogate him, right? Like, didn't that happen with JFK? Like, the supposed shooter was killed. Like, they're always killed. They're always lone gunmen. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, let's read a few of these comments. Carrie said, how many times can they be proven liars, yet people still listen to them? I know. Shame on me once. Shame on me twice. Shame on me my whole damn life. Yep.
Yes.
I know. I mean, I guess, what do people have, like, infinite reserves of forgiveness and hope or something? Like, oh, they did lie, but they're trying, and they're and like, yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, it's something that's really weird to me is if we think about it on a personal basis. So let's say that CJ lies to me and I find it out. Okay. It's very disappointing. Thought I'd trust him. He lied to me. So now I'm going to be very, very skeptical about what he says. Now, he might go a long time and prove that he's not lying anymore. Okay, great. Still going to be in the back of my mind a little bit. And if he lies again to me, then, I mean, for me, it's pretty much all bets are off. Okay, he's a liar. I really can't trust him anymore. Why is it that same standard, a lot of people don't hold, like the media or government officials, to that same standard? Anyone have a thought on that? Like, why do they get a pass? Like, well, that was a different news network. This one doesn't lie to me, right? Well, that was a different governor or politician. It's a changing of the guard. So now we have a new guy, and so I don't know. It's a little weak for me. It's a little weak.
Yeah. Carrie said, I think the short on Trump's media company was telling. What do you think? I did not see it. So tell us, or
yeah,
something.
I'm interested.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that is.
We got 9 people. We got 9. Can we get 10? If you ever played that old game Pit, where it's like stock trading, you're like 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. I got 3, 3, 3.
Oh yeah.
4, 4, 4, 4, 4. We got 9. Can we get 10? Okay, so I don't know. Maybe it's enough on that one. On that topic.
Well, yeah, and I'm also curious because this is really the first time we've interacted with anybody. I'm just curious if people have any. Well, I mean, yes, we've already said if you have questions, but just also like, what was your favorite episode, or what topics do you want to see more of, or what topic did you think was too crazy or too out there, or was there something that you disagreed with, or actually that's my favorite. I would love debate kind of things, or maybe that's too many questions, but anyway, just to stimulate the comments or the questions.
Yeah,
I'm just always curious. Yeah,
I'm checking the Awake hotline. Got a text on the Awake hotline. It says, "Did you watch Sean Hibbler documentary? If yes, what did you think?" Well, great question. Which documentary? Is it the newest one, the Old World Order, or there's 3 level movies, Level, Next Level, and Level with Me, right? He had
right.
he had older ones on vaccines and things like that. So whoever that was that texted that question, I have not yet watched the newest documentary called Old World Order, but
oh yeah, is that one out yet?
Yeah, it is out. That one actually features pretty much my favorite YouTube channel of all time called My Lunch Break. It features the guy from that who gets into like old world stuff and old buildings. Sometimes the stories behind them don't really add up, and I'm not necessarily making any claims about that, but there's a lot of he points out a lot of interesting discrepancies and how fast or whatever these buildings were built. And so the person who texted that about the documentary, Hibbler documentary, I haven't seen the Old World Order, but I'm excited to, and I understand the premise, and it's interesting for sure. You've seen that one, CJ? Not yet.
Not yet, no, but I knew it was coming out because I actually was talking with the My Lunch Break guy and trying to get him to come on our show, and he's like, "Yes, I want to. Let me wait until like this documentary comes out and blah blah blah." So, and then yeah, speaking of the My Lunch Break guy, one of his recent videos, just real quick, is a little out there, but it's okay. I won't. We're open to trying on new things.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's about dragons. Did you see that?
No, I mean, it came across my feed because I'm a subscriber, but yeah.
So I thought, it was like, okay, maybe there's been dragons, blah, blah, blah. But this is like apparent evidence of like really, 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 really big dragons. I'm talking about like half the size of a country, like the mountains and everything are shaped like a dragon skeleton, and the mouth is like 1,000 miles wide. And I mean, that's a little out there, but hey, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, here, let me share my screen real quick. Yeah, here you go. Can you see this?
Yep.
Yeah. Here's the My Lunch Break guy. So he's got you guys you gotta watch this guy. Okay. Yeah. Really interesting stuff. Really interesting. Just watch it with an open mind. And look, they're like 20 minutes, I guess this one's like an hour. That's really long. Most of his are like under a half an hour.
Yeah.
So you can literally watch one on your lunch break. Actually, he featured the Logan County courthouse in one of his videos, which is where I grew up, Bell Fountain, Ohio.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But anyway,
let's do this. Okay, Carrie posted this. Wait. Here's the thing she was talking about. Austin Private Wealth faces scrutiny over filing before Trump assassination attempt. Company denies shorting 12 million shares. Cites clerical error. Oh, okay. Oh, so when you said short, the short on his company. Oh, I thought you meant like a video, like, you know, there's shorts. Okay, so I get it now. Yeah, that's. And then this follow-up was a subsidiary of BlackRock. Nothing to see here, just a clerical error. Yeah, that's quite sus.
Okay, got another question over the Wake Darren hotline. This is pretty cool. I'm having a good time. Hopefully you guys are too. Share the show. Get some more people in here. So what things you might want to cover or add to or backtrack on in future podcasts. So actually I might play a voicemail that I got, which kind of goes along with this. Can I play that real quick? This is all new to me, so I'm going to try this. See if we can hear it. If CJ, if you can't hear anything, let me know. So here's a voicemail.
Listened to the Dustin Nemos episode because I knew about him from George Hobbs' Flat Earth Files podcast. And so anyway, I was just listening to that podcast the other day, and I was listening to this morning, I was listening to the Logical Fallacies episode, which I just wanted to compliment you guys on for having that available. And I don't know if you guys could or would or plan on it, but it would be awesome. I think obviously I can do my own research and dig around and find out, but I think it would be great if you guys did another episode on that, because that's just helpful to a lot of people. I just wanted to say thanks and give that input. And anyway, thank you for what you guys do, spreading the truth. Have a good day. Bye.
Cool, Stephanie. I cut the very first part off accidentally. Stephanie called in, and yeah, she liked the Logical Fallacies episode and was just like, hey, I actually talked to her on the phone too. But she said, yeah, it was really helpful to her. And, you want to do another one. I do want to do another one because Logical Fallacies is my jam.
Yeah, and I think that was our original plan, right? Like we were going to do the one and then do, I don't know, either do more Logical Fallacies or just review them again or play more games, spot the fallacy type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they're all over the place, and when you're trying to have a discussion with somebody, it's important to know that, for example, actually I don't, what is this logical fallacy? Okay, here, we'll see if people know. So if something has been falsified, then any claim of that thing, you can just rule it out, right? So I don't know if it's a logical fallacy, but I'm trying to think of an example. If, I don't know, there's a fictional place, you're like, oh no, that place doesn't exist. There's no proof of that place existing. And you're like, oh, but look, I'm holding this stalk of broccoli that I got from there. It's like, no, you didn't get it from there because that's a fictional place.
Right. So here, let's do this, right? How about Narnia? We'll use Narnia.
Okay.
Right. Narnia is a real place. And I have this crystal. This crystal is from the White Witch's palace in Narnia. Right?
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not, because that's not a real place. But I got this crystal. And the crystal's real. It's from Narnia. Right?
Right. And your testimony and you wrote about it, and
I wrote all about this crystal.
You drew a picture of where it came from and your path. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's a logical fallacy. It's a
it's a flawed logical
something.
thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, Stephanie, I don't know if you're listening or not or watching. We got 10 people. That's awesome. Yes, we want to do another Logical Fallacies episode. I want it to be on par or better than the first one, and I thought the first one was pretty good. The way we went through a bunch of them and examples, it was pretty well organized, and I'm not very good at that, at organizing. So I just need to do a little more work up front, but I'm still practicing identifying logical fallacies, the ones I do know, and I'm spotting them everywhere. So, what we got? Hey, I know there's another person I know in the chat there in the comment section. Karis is lingering under a pseudonym. So anyway,
yeah, I think she said me too when we said, or when you played the voicemail about wanting to do more logical fallacies. So,
yes, for sure.
Me too.
I have another quick question here that popped in over the Wake the Iron hotline. So, which episode was your favorite one? Which episode was your favorite one? Well, I have a few for different reasons, and one of them I mentioned recently in a recent episode of ours, and that was the work that CJ did on the virus isolation. The episode is titled Virus Isolation or Lack Thereof, I think. I'll get the episode number here in a second. That's very underrated. Not that anyone's like rating. I guess maybe some people are, but it was early on in our stuff, and it was just top. I think that was the one where you used the Wayback Machine, and you found how they changed the definition of vaccine or something, and on Webster's to kind of fit the new narrative. It was really creepy. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm almost positive that was all in that episode. It was fantastic.
Yep, that was 11, and I posted the link.
Okay. Yeah, it was really good. The information was great. It was all happening like in real time because we were going through it with the, I don't even like saying the word. So, but you know what I'm talking about. 2020 stuff and 2021. But that was really good. I have a couple others for a couple reasons, but CJ, well, you got one that was your favorite? It could be for any reason, like you had the most fun, or the guest was cool, or
Dr. Andrew Kaufman.
Yeah,
that
for
was
sure.
one of my favorites because, because he's one of my heroes, so that was fun to have him on. And then also, yeah, it was just, he's just so smart and good and logical with no fallacies, and just, yeah, it was just really good with all the information and everything. And that was episode 30, and that's this one here.
And another cool thing, it was one of my favorites as well. He was super cool, chill to talk to. I was fanboying a little bit, like CJ was. And the cool thing is that episode on virus isolation that I just said that CJ did good work on. Everything Dr. Kaufman said in his episode where he was a guest validated all of CJ's work. Not that he was there to do that, but if you watch both of those, you'll be like, wow. So I would say CJ was on par with Dr. Kaufman in that regard, in that subject matter, which is saying something, let me tell you. So congrats on that. That's just my opinion, and I'm just being truthful. I'm just being truthful. It was really good.
You.
Here we got, Karis has one here. Thought the Dave Weiss Flat Earth Dave episode was really good. Yep. He's an interesting guy. Interesting topic, a hot topic, get people fired up. Yeah, that was a good one. I have another one that was really fun. I don't know if you remember way back, it was way early on. We had a guy named Brad Freedom on, and we talked
Yeah.
about Federal Reserve. And he was a very energetic person, just a fun guest to talk to. And it was really good.
Yeah. I my other favorite was the dinosaurs.
Yes, the
Why are you
dinosaurs.
laughing?
Because there's a couple parts in there that just made me laugh so hard.
Oh, okay.
We had Mark, we
Uh-huh.
had Mark Jumpshot Jacobs on, and when you threw up the graphic of how would they have mated, Mark like lost it, and then I started laughing at Mark laughing.
Mhm.
It was just really, really funny, but it was super interesting. It was
Yeah.
really interesting.
Yeah, I like that one too because it was just. I mean, we've had all the topics are interesting, but that one's just weird. You know, like even people who are just open to all kinds of crazy ideas, they're like, well, no, but we still did have dinosaurs, you know. So I'm like, I don't know, maybe not. So it's very suspect fossils,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
So
Well, and the thing is, the people who I have to trust to convey information to me about dinosaurs are the people that have lied to me.
right.
So we talked about that at the beginning. So maybe they're telling me the truth. I gotta be skeptical. You know, that's just it. I don't think that's unreasonable of me to think that way. People might think I'm crazy, fine, whatever, you know, but I don't think it's unreasonable. They lied to me before, so they say, "Oh, yeah, well, you know, that was a lie, I guess." But there definitely were dinosaurs.
Right.
I'm like, again, maybe there were, maybe there weren't. There's some things that don't add up. That was a two-parter because we went for a while and I broke it up just so it wasn't like a marathon episode, and it was excellent. It was excellent. We had a lot of visuals and I had little video clips in there, and I thought it was pretty fun. Patrick's got a question here. Really like to hear your guys' thoughts on the 3 months after the election, before the inauguration, how things will be in the country, the mood.
Yeah. So does he mean he wants us to predict, or
I don't know,
does
but we
he want
can't.
us to
Yeah,
wait after the election and then tell him?
we
I-
could. Yeah, we could do both. Patrick could clarify if you want, and if you're still there. Yeah, there's the CJ's popping up. The CJ's Johnny on the spot here with the links. So there's the link for the dinosaurs episode if you're so interested.
Yeah.
But
Okay. So 3 months after election, before. Yeah, I don't know. And actually, you know, I went from not voting. This is like, you know, when I was in college or something, not voting because I, you know, really didn't know and maybe didn't care, to starting to care, you know, about the state of the country and the world. So I went from like not voting to voting Republican to voting Libertarian, and back to like not voting again because doesn't do anything. So
yeah.
part of me, like, I usually don't watch the debates. I don't watch any of it. I don't know. I don't care. But how will things be in the country? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you should take this one because it's
Well,
yeah.
regardless of the winner here, sorry.
Here, I'll do it. Yeah.
Okay. Regardless of the winner, one side loses. Will we be getting along? Yeah.
Well,
Depends.
my very short answer is not much will change. So
Correct.
because
I agree, and it
yeah.
never does because it never
No.
does. Now, I'm gonna go to a place right now that I'm kind of saving for an episode, but we can hint about it. I'm of the view at this point. I've learned a lot, and I'm of the view that government is immoral. Not, oh, the government we have right now is immoral. Government, full stop, is immoral. So by extent, and we're gonna elaborate on this a lot, and it's taken me decades to arrive at this point. But by extension, anything having to do with government, people, systems are all immoral. So I can't be complicit in something that's immoral. So don't throw me out with the bathwater, right? Don't throw me out with the bathwater for saying that. We're going to elaborate on that. I want to do an episode on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we did an episode on voluntarism. CJ, do you remember?
Yeah.
Where we talked about we touched the surface of some of it. So let me put it this way. If we have rulers, which I know it's like, well, we have a representative government, blah, blah, blah. No, we don't. It's supposed to be, and it's kind of set up that way, but it's not. There are rulers, and then there's us. So they're the slave masters and the slaves. So we are actually slaves in this system. And what you have is you have the slaves arguing about which slave master would be best. The answer is neither, because it's immoral, right? Well, that slave man, the blue slave master, he whips us less. Okay, I guess that's better. So, okay, well, let's choose him to be our slave master, right? Well, yeah, because he whips us less. So, well, yeah, but the other slave master, he actually pays us a little bit. He lets us keep a little bit of money. Oh, well, let's pick him, right? Okay, so you pick one. Well, but what's the problem? You're still a slave, by the way, in case you didn't notice, right? I'm going to recommend a movie called, my buddy Dave. Dave is quick Johnny on the spot. Yeah. And full disclosure, I haven't watched this movie yet, but I follow the guy who made the movie, and I know all about the premise and everything that's about. I watch all his videos that are about this topic. So with a degree of confidence, I'm going to promote that. So it's called The Jones Plantation. The Jones Plantation. It touches on this subject. So I think I've already said too much about it. I want to save it for an episode. I want to do a full episode on it. Anyway, that was kind of a long explanation going off of Patrick's initial thing about what will it be like after an election. Could be chaos. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, and the episode was 5, non-aggression principle. And we talked about anarchy, voluntarism, like taxes, victimless crimes, who will build the roads, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I agree. Regardless of the winner of the president, because really, I mean, we're at the point now we realize left wing, right wing, it's the same bird. So, I mean, why do you think they call it wings? They're attached. It's the same brain. Okay. So they have us arguing over, do we want the left or the right or the red or the blue? It's the same bird. Like you said. So it's, do you want this slave owner or that slave owner? And you're still a slave, right? Or like, here, we're playing chess. Do you want to be white or black? Well, actually, I don't want to play right now. Well, no, you're playing. Do you want white or black? It's like,
Yeah. And anyone who's watching this or listening, we'll post it as an episode later. So if someone's listening to it or whatever, just do me this favor. Before you like freak out and like, oh, they're like anti-government, blah, blah. Well, yeah, I am anti-government, just so you know. Based on that statement I just made. I have to be, because it's immoral. But just think of it this way. Do me this favor. From this point forward, think of the system that we're in, and the people that run the system are the slave masters, and we are the slaves. And then with that filter, listen to people talk to each other about politics. And it becomes very clear that the problem isn't the red guy or the blue guy, right? The problem is the belief in government. And so people freak out. Well, what are you gonna do instead? Is it just gonna be anarchy? It's gonna be cars burning in the streets? We can talk about it. We can talk about those things. I think just about anything would be better in the long run than the system that we call government. Because what happens with government, every time, without fail, every time in all of history, what always happens is government gets a monopoly on power and force. Period. Every time. So, even if we had complete pandemonium, cars burning in the streets, the picture that's painted in our minds that we were brainwashed to think anarchy means pandemonium and chaos, right? That still might be better than a group of psychos who have all the power and all the force. I don't know. It's scary to think about, because we have these pictures in our minds like, zombie apocalypse, or just take the zombies out. You have apocalyptic times. You have, what was the Mel Gibson movie? Mad Max. It's just crazy pandemonium. There's no order. There's no law, right? I think those are propaganda pieces put forward by those in power to dissuade you from any system that would eliminate the need for them. So they're in a self-preservation mode. We need people to think they need us, right?
Yeah, and there's so many of them actually. There's like whole categories of dystopian whatever, or after a collapse of society, all the zombie ones, there's so many. And it might be propaganda to kind of manipulate people to be afraid of that so that we want to keep government in control and all that. But for me, I like them. Like I almost fantasize about being in that. Even if it's hard, like some of them it's super hard, right? Like there's no electricity, there's no water, like it's just kind of like primitive again, and you're just trying to fend for yourself and like starving and like trying to survive. Like that's awful, but sometimes when I watch those, I actually want that. Like I want to be there. And maybe that's like, I don't know if it's a sick fascination, or maybe it's something deep down that's like, that's how it needs to be to like reset or something. And then we figure out how to have rules, but no rulers, because side note,
Right.
That's anarchy, right? Anarchy doesn't mean chaos. It
Right.
literally means no rulers.
No ruler.
Doesn't mean no rule. Anyway, Carrie said, I feel that, Kason. This was a couple minutes ago. You're talking about all this we're still talking about. She said, no matter what system is chosen, it's used to control and profit from our labor.
100%. 100%.
And
Carrie,
then
Carrie gets a star. There's like a star I can click. I don't know what it does.
Yeah, I think that's just for us that we can see.
Okay.
Like if we want to highlight certain ones. And then is that Dave who said, "Who's gonna fix the roads?"
Yeah.
I love that one.
Yeah. Well, if there's no government, who's going to fix the roads? The same people that did before. People.
Right.
Right. Don't knee jerk reaction it. Here's an interesting thing. They used to do for road projects. They used like way back, late 18th century, or early 19th century, for big road projects, they would have a lottery. They would do a lottery. Well, lotteries are very popular. What was the last couple have been like $1 billion or something stupid? They do lotteries for they used to do lotteries for road project, right? Okay, we raised this much money, and the winner gets what are the percentage, and then the rest we use to fix the road. Great. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and it's weird too because you have like toll roads. You're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. You pay for the toll, and then that manages everything. But sometimes those roads are really bad.
I know.
Like the Pennsylvania Turnpike, like it's just awful. It's
The
like, okay,
thing
well, that
is,
doesn't really work.
who's going to fix the roads, right? That's an awesome question. I am willing to explore the possibilities of that. And I would make a wager that if you took government out of it, it would probably be more efficient.
Right. But because, yeah, what you said was right. Because right now the government doesn't fix the road. The government isn't, the government is made up of people who are, bureaucrats and whatever. So, yeah, the government doesn't fix the roads. They funnel the money to people who fix the roads. So,
yeah,
we just
like
pay
a
those
middleman.
people.
It's not necessary.
Right, exactly. And it just gets bigger and bigger. Oh, and that's the other thing I was going to say when you said all governments in history or whatever, they gain a monopoly over power and all that. They also always get bigger. They never get smaller. Unless somebody can think of one, please tell me.
Right. Well, ours is a perfect example.
Yeah, it was supposed to be
starting
like
out
one
really
of the smallest ever.
Smallest one ever. Now it's huge. Beyond huge.
Oh, yeah. Number of departments and committees and oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, we still got 5 people. 5 people. We were at 10, but some people they couldn't handle it. They dropped off.
Yeah.
We really appreciate everybody being here. Who's been here. It's been awesome. It's been cool. I don't know what we're going at. It's about an hour.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, it's probably good.
Okay, I definitely want to do this again. We could. This was our first one, so we appreciate everybody popping in. And then I'll post this as an actual episode on the website. And we can, in the future, we could have a guest on, even in a live situation where people could ask the guest questions. I don't know. Sky's the limit. But this is the first one to try it. Technology wise, I was getting familiar with it. CJ helped me through it. A lot of it's super easy. StreamYard's awesome. That's what we're using. It like kind of does everything, for you. Puts it on YouTube. It's slick. It's pretty slick. So, one last comment here. What we got? Carrie says, I've said many times with an infinite number of ways we can structure society. Why are we all going along with the crap? Yeah, I know. Lack of imagination. You said it. I think we've been successfully dumbed down enough to think that we need them. Again, it's the slaves who, and you know what? You guys, you should read anything written by Frederick Douglass. The guy was brilliant. So he was a slave. He saw this problem among slaves where they became conditioned to what's that called? Stockholm syndrome, where you start to accept your captor or even like your captor. But
Mhm.
Frederick Douglass was brilliant. Why are kids not reading Frederick Douglass in school? That is a wake up. One, the hot topic is racism. Everybody's racist, and then all white people are bad because of slavery and all that. Okay, fine, which is a load of crap. But if we're gonna go with that, why in the world would you not be reading Frederick Douglass stuff? It is amazing, and I know why. I think I know the reason why. It's because the same thing he talks about, where people had been conditioned to just accept their situation, and is exactly where we're at now. It's just we're not on a plantation. Well, I guess we are in a way. The plantation is this corporation called the United States, and we're working the plantation, and we're fighting over which slave master is going to better rule over us. Like, it's literally that stuff. Frederick Douglass. You gotta. I'm gonna push our school to read some of that stuff. So
Yeah.
Yes, let's do this again. This was very cool. And I don't have a lot of editing to do. I'm just gonna post it as an episode.
Right.
As
Yeah.
is. Yeah. Thanks to everybody that was that were leaving comments.
Yeah, and it would be fun too if any of you get a little brave next time you want to join the stream. That would be fun just to interact even a little bit more. But we still appreciate the comments.
Yeah, definitely do. And so we'll probably just close it out. I appreciate the support, and we're going to do it again for sure, and we'll have some more episodes coming out. And I guess with that, we'll close off, and I'll just say, as usual, keep your powder dry, and we'll see you.